I just realized how much of a loser Rocket Raccoon is in the MCU. Now let me explain by what I mean by loser. He's lost so much throughout his life. Whether that be when we dive into his origin and realize that him as a baby raccoon, he was stripped of just being able to be a raccoon. He was experimented on, tortured, abused physically and verbally, and at the end of the day was used as a stepping stone for a perfect being. And throughout that, he builds a natural resentment towards others, not willing to open himself up. When he says hurts, and then he finally meets a group of friends in Lila, Floor, and Teefs. Friends who show him love, compassion, care. We'll all fly away together into the forever, that beautiful sky. And when he tries to save his friends, they're all brutally murdered. That yell he lets out is haunting. And he ends up having to run away and doesn't truly process the emotions, which is when we pick up with him in Volume 1 having found a friend in Groot, whose vocabulistics are limited to I and am and Groot. It's really just like his little brother who eventually turns into his son, still can't really process those emotions. And when we get those hints of what happened to him in his past life in Volume 1, it makes scenes like this hit so much harder because you now understand where the fuel for these words are coming from. Drunk words are just sober thoughts. And then he loses the closest friend he ever had in Groot, which is just so damn sad. James Gunn had me crying over a talking tree and a raccoon. But then we slowly see signs of him processing this grief. One of my favorite scenes is Drax comforting Rocket. He's never known what it's like to be comforted, and he accepts this. And we expand upon this more in Volume 2, where he plays a pseudo-father figure to this new group. But in this movie, he's pushing them more away as he gets closer to them, steals batteries, is bumping heads with Peter Quill, which is when Yondu puts him in his place and basically calls him out tit for tat on what he really is. I know who you are, boy, because you're me. Leading up to this scene here where he says, I'm sorry, I can only afford to lose one friend today, just hits so damn hard because he knows Yondu is gone. And it was someone who could actually understand where he comes from. But even through all the bumping of heads, Peter sees Rocket as his best friend. Second best friend. And I love this scene at the end of Volume 2, where he's talking vicariously through Yondu. And then in Infinity War, he has to watch Groot die again, and every member of the Guardians basically dies, other than Gamora. And I love that we get another scene where he gets to comfort. This time it's him comforting Nebula. He learned from the comforting of Drax, and he's opening up more and more. And one of those biggest opening up moments is when he's talking to Thor in Infinity War. Gotta be the captain now. And then again in Endgame, when he opens up to Thor, he feels comfortable with him, talking about losing the only family he ever had. I love how Volume 3 is really about the family trying to get Rocket, inversing Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, the scene where they save Rocket and just hug and embrace him is just so damn heartwarming and shows how far we've come. He's now fully embraced compassion, love, and care. Rocket ain't a loser no more.